Welcome to Spotlight Sessions, where we shine
What's
a
your
light on
story?
incredible. What does accessibility mean to you?
What's your mission?
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spotlight Sessions. My name is Avital. I am on the nonprofit partnership team here at accessiBe's, and I'm really excited to be speaking with Wendy Singer, who is the managing editor at Inspirations. Hi, how are you today?
I'm good, thanks. Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Of course, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be having this conversation with you today. So why don't we just go ahead and get started? Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So as you said, I'm the managing editor of Inspirations. It's a position I'm very proud to hold. So Inspirations is a nonprofit resource, and we publish 2 editions a year, and we have podcasts and a special needs database and do events, and we cater to the needs of the special needs community. So we really become the hub of special needs news in the Montreal and Greater Montreal and surrounding areas in Canada. And it's a very rewarding job to give a voice to the community and to really unite the community. And I'm very proud to do this work.
Yeah, that's awesome. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about Inspirations? You mentioned that you're a resource for a lot of people within the community, but what types of resources do you offer? What types of articles do you publish? Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that?
So I think I need to tell you a bit about the history of Inspirations in order to get there, because it's really a grassroots resource publication. So we're quite unique. We haven't really seen anything like this anywhere else. Maybe something in New York, but we're education based. So this all started because our communications and marketing specialist at the English Montreal School Board, which is where we're housed, he has internal newsletters for the school board, and he gets stories from different schools, and there were a lot of stories about students with special needs, which were so special and so, we're so proud of them that he wanted to have a place to publish them. And so we thought, why don't we have a whole separate publication for these articles? And it started off as a 12-page publication. And I came on board when I was, I think it was in its first year. I was over at our editor's home. He is actually our editor as well. Over at his house doing a special project, and he showed me the first edition of Inspirations, and I said, "Wow, that's so interesting." I was working as a freelance writer, and I had just written a story about a girl with Down syndrome who had a bat mitzvah, and I said, do you have any room for a story like this? And he said, sure. So, and then he invited me to get a little more involved in the organization, and I read through the first edition, and I just loved it. I felt it was so inspiring, and I've always been so interested in the resilience of people. So it was a great fit for me, and he asked me to get more involved. So that summer, we have a database of special needs resources. It was about, maybe 10 pages. And he asked if I would expand it. So I started calling people, calling resources in the special needs field and asking, do you have a resource to share? Do you want to, do you have a story? And invariably, people had stories. People wanted to advertise. And so it kind of grew, like the organization grew out of the community's need for something like this. So a lot of organizations started at the same time, like tutoring services or different centers started at the same time as us and used Inspirations as a platform to really unite the community. So with our database, our newspapers, our podcasts, we center around, just the community, and we take our ideas from the community. And that's really how it grew and how we service the community. And our database is now all digital, but I heard from specialists before that they used to, it's now over 500 resources. It's huge. we used to print it out when
Mm-hmm.
paper was a thing, and they'd walk around carrying it
Yeah.
under their arm, just as a
Mm-hmm.
guide. So we're very proud to be able to provide,
Wow. Yeah.
services that are hard to find for parents
Mm-hmm.
that are struggling with a new diagnosis of a child. So we try to make any resource and information available, and through our stories that are often inspirational, and we try to just provide, say, hey, look what this guy's doing, and maybe you can do it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's so important, to bring resources to the community, but also to connect individuals. It's I think it's we've become more aware of it because of COVID, and because of everything, that so many people have gone through with COVID and needing to have that community and needing to have that connection. So I think it's really awesome what you guys are doing, and also that you've, been able to transfer to, being completely digital, because I'm sure that was a feat in its own. So really amazing.
Thank you.
So I'd love to hear a little bit more about, yeah, definitely. I'd love to hear a little bit more about your day to day. So what does that look like as the managing editor?
Oh, that's a good question. um, oh, my day to day. Wow, that's that's like you threw me a hook there. So, my day to day is anything from, so managing editor covers a lot of ground. So we've got the editorial component, we've got our
Mm-hmm.
sponsors, we've got advertising, a sales campaign, sales representatives. It's really community advocacy outreach. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say one of the great parts about where I'm sitting is that it's different every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day is a new surprise, and I sometimes start my day with a plan and get to none of it.
Yeah.
Because we are dealing with the news, and we're
Mm-hmm.
more, we're a newspaper, but we that's really just specific to costs. If we had more resources, we would be a magazine, and then
Mm-hmm.
so we focus on big publications, but there's all sorts of news going on all the time. We work with a very vibrant community, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing all sorts of things, planning events. Uh, yeah, I would say it's
Yeah, sounds
I'm
like
in the
you're.
process. We are expanding, and I'm in the process
Mm-hmm.
of training people too, and that's really fun
Mm-hmm.
as well to see people flourish and do such great work.
Yeah. Definitely. It sounds like you're wearing a lot of different hats, which is something that we definitely see often at nonprofits.
Hmm.
So I am curious if there is one specific, um, either accomplishment or story or something that really kind of has stayed with you throughout your time at Inspirations. Um, it could be really anything, something that, like I said, either an accomplishment or maybe a story that you've published or something like that. I think our listeners would really love to hear about that.
Yeah, a few things come to mind. So you'll tell me if I take too long answering this question, because there's a lot. So the thing that am most proud of at Inspirations is that from the beginning, it's been really important to me and to the organization to have people with special needs involved. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, it's not really fulfilling our mission. So
Mm-hmm.
many years ago, when I guess a couple of years after I started, we were invited to exhibit Inspirations at a fair, and beside us there was a vocational school called Summit Tech. They
Mm-hmm.
had a printing division where they taught the students how to print, and everything there is geared towards helping them find work, um, you know, becoming viable, active members of the community. The printing to print our editions didn't work out, but they were interested in helping us package Inspirations and get it out, circulate it, do our mailing. And it's a great work project, and we've maintained that relationship. We had to stop because of the pandemic. But so getting schools involved in helping us distribute inspirations, having people on the team that are autistic or have, any type of special need, getting that experience and that voice. So to me, that's been the most important and the most rewarding, is to work with people and bring them on the team. And I myself have a visual impairment, so I take inspirations as well. And
Yeah,
that's the greatest
that's amazing.
accomplishment for me. And we're doing stages with
Yeah.
special needs schools and that kind of thing.
Hmm.
As a
Yeah, I
personal
think that's really
accomplishment.
important, having people with disabilities in all different levels of each organization. So that's really amazing that you guys are doing that. Not every organization does that, so it's definitely really important.
Hmm. Hopefully we set the trend. We have to keep drilling the
Yeah,
message home.
definitely. Definitely. So the next question that I have for you is, what does accessibility mean to you? And we really like to ask this question because each time we do, we really get a completely different answer. It's really, what resonates with that individual and what they've gone through in their lives. So, yeah, what does accessibility mean to you?
Accessibility really means a couple things: giving people a chance, giving everybody a chance, uh, seeing people from beyond the disability, or not even beyond, but just not seeing the disability, um, and just treating everybody as equals. And I guess a day would be nice when we could see in the future a day where the word accessibility just doesn't even exist anymore, because everybody has equal access to services, to jobs, to education, to without
Mm-hmm.
judgment, without with the right accommodations, and everything is accessible to everybody. And
Definitely.
just
And I do
fair and
think that we've
justice.
touched on this a little bit. Yeah, definitely. I do think that we've touched on this a little bit, but if you had one message to the business community, what would that be?
Um, yeah, think outside the box. Think outside the box, and don't worry so much about the
Hmm.
bottom line. That will come. And take advantage of the brilliant people out there in the world, no matter who they are.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's
pretty
amazing.
simple, I
Um,
think.
so if any one of our Yeah, definitely. So if any one of our listeners would like to get in touch, either with you or with Inspirations, how could they do so?
So they can visit our website. It's inspirationsnews.com. Find us on Facebook and Instagram, and yeah, that's where they'll find us. We have a podcast also that's on Buzzsprout, or any Apple, or any of the podcasts you like to listen to. It's fantastic,
Hmm.
like yours, and just really gets to the heart and soul of our people that interview us, that we interview.
Amazing. So we'll definitely put all of that in the show notes when we upload this episode. But Wendy, I really just want to take one more opportunity to say thank you for all that you're doing, and also thank you for being on this episode of the Spotlight Sessions. And we're definitely looking forward to the next conversation.
Great. Thank you so much. And I just want to say thank you to you, and to your nonprofit program, and to Sheldon in Montreal, who helped us upload accessiBe. We're so happy. We really felt we needed to do that, and you guys made it happen. So thank you for that, and for this podcast opportunity.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you.